வெல்கம் டு த கவுச் கோச்சஸ். விஜய் சேதுபதி நானும் ரவுடி தான் நான் சொல்ற மாதிரி நானும் கோச் தான்.
சொல்லுங்க நான் என்ன பண்ணணும்? சொல்லுங்க நான் என்ன பண்ணணும்?
My name is Rama Ramni. I live in the US. You probably know about us already. Welcome to this episode.
Episode number 9. I can't say how much I'm thankful to you viewers, but we didn't ever dream of doing 9 episodes, but we are on track to do more. So thank you.
Thank you.
As we said, as you saw episode 4, we came up with the 6 teams which we think will challenge for the World Cup. So what we are going to do in this episode is take the 4 common teams and talk about their top order and analyze the top order. Okay, so the 4 common teams are India, Pakistan, Australia, and England. So we will start with Australia first. I think the probable top 4 are David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Smith, and Marnus. Warner has been in good nick.
Yep.
Michelle Marsh has been in outstanding nick. Marnus has proved himself and got himself into the team because as we spoke about it in episode 2 or 3, he was not even in the professional squad. And Smith, we don't have to say much. He is a legend.
Yeah, I think இந்த ரெண்டு பேரும் வார்னர் அண்ட் ஸ்மித் ஆஃப்டர் தே டிட் த கூதல்ஸ் அண்ட் தப்பு பண்ணிட்டேன் மாப்பிள்ள தப்பு பண்ணிட்டேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஆஃப்டர் தே கம் பேக்.
என்னை மன்னிச்சிடுங்க, நான் பொம்பளை ரொம்ப மதிக்கிறேன், ஆனா இப்போ எனக்கு வேற வழியே இல்லமா.
They're essentially gotten back into their old stride. I think especially David Warner is always forced to deal with in the opening, and I think he's going to be really good. Mitchell Marsh, it's been surprising, right? I think if you go back like 2-3 years, he was more of a bowler who could bat, or is he a batsman who can bowl? The question was always there, right? But I think he's really gotten into like a really solid opener right now, right? You can see that. And then the left-right combination, I think they got that part right. And the styles that come next, right? Smith as well as Marnus, they play very similar. But they're irritating styles, right? Aluk style, what we used to say, right? Hey, என்னடா ஆடுறான் அப்படின்னு சொல்ற மாதிரி ஆடுவாங்க, but very effective, right? I think the record talks for themselves. So I think these top 4 is a pretty good one. My only thing is with Ashwin, just talking about what could happen given that we have a weapon and he's pretty good against Warner as well as this. Appo India பத்தி சொல்லி ஆகணும்ல, even if you talk about Australia. I think that's good for us because he's gotten them. But otherwise, I think this is a real solid top 4.
Mitch Marsh won the T20 World Cup for Australia last time in Middle East, I think. Okay. But very, very injury prone. That's why we can't see him regularly, or playing consistently in the team. Whenever he's played in the last 2 or 3 years, he's performed very well for Australia. So if they keep him fit, he's a potent batsman now, because I haven't seen him bowl in the last 3 months. He was the designate captain in the South Africa series, but potent top 4.
Yeah, the thing is, even if he gets injured, right, they have enough. For example, they can move Cam Green. they can essentially, even Marnus can sort of open if need be. So I think they got that balance right. But you're right, he's not been consistent from playing right through for a longer period of time.
They will miss Travis Head, I think, because he had a fractured right hand in South Africa, but he was in red hot form.
Oh yeah, thala eluthu.
Yama. So I think top 4 to look at in the
And Head
world.
came to form after playing with India. I remember that he was going through a slump, and then he played India, and then he started playing really well. But you're right. I think it would have been interesting if he was in the mix.
Yeah. Okay. So we will see. We will get into the middle order in the next episodes, and then see what's the combination that teams will do, or how they will push the middle order to the top order in circumstances, or the grounds they play, or the teams they play. So Campbell Green is my middle order for sure, but we will see dissect it when we come to the middle order. So the next team is England, the world champs now. Interesting decisions of replacing Jason Roy to Harry Brooks. But I think the top 4 will be Barristro, Malan, who's coming into form now, left hand, right hand combination. Stokes 3 and
CSK.
Road 4.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd see. Until you mentioned, I never thought that Malan was a opener time, and then you called out how he had played so well recently. And my first thing I was thinking is Jason Roy. That's the thing I remember even from 2019 World Cup. But with Malan again, I know that he can essentially get to that gear, right, where he can start scoring. Plus, he can also manage the innings really well. They got a really good left-hand opener. Bairstow can be a menace, and he's got a left-right. So he's a right-hander. They got that combination right. And then Stokes, obviously, he started off way down the order, but then he's proved that he can essentially play 1 drop, 2 drops. So he's there. Joe Root is a solid. I think they got him in the number 4 position. The only thing, again, given with injuries, can Stokes play through the entire thing without injuries? That will always be the back of your mind. They have to manage the workload for him. Right, essentially we missed him in CSK. இவ்வளவு பணம் கொடுத்து காசு பணம் துட்டு மணின்னு கொட்டி கொடுத்தோம், லாஸ்ட்ல ஆடவே இல்ல அவன். I mean, but otherwise I think it's also a pretty good thing. Couple of left-handers and people who can change gears really well. So
I think Malan is the a type of player who will get you runs in at a stack rate of 80 or 85, where Barristro and Stokes can go at 120 or 130 strike rate. But to point of Stokes, I think he's not. They will not need him to bowl, and that's the way they will manage him. Because one, it's his knee, not a back or whatever. Plus, when we come to the episode of bowlers and all-rounders, we will see that England has a very, very, very good lineup. That unless some team, are chasing leather and they want to plug in 2 or 3 overs, I don't think he will bore at all in this World Cup. We will see what happens. But solid 4 again. And all of them are in prime form. Okay. And Barristro and Stokes know the conditions in India. And in the middle order, which we will speak in the next episodes, there are a lot of players who know the Indian conditions. So I will not write off England
Yep.
because
Oh
they
yeah.
are
They
solid.
are a very good, I think, very well balanced team, right?
Yeah,
People, they've got a mix of spin,
yeah,
pace, like pure pace, right?
yeah,
They've got all that in their order, but they're playing in Indian conditions,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
So again, I always want to think about Ashwin bowling to Stokes or to Malan early,
Yeah.
and that's a good challenge I would love to watch. So,
If Ashwin gets a game or games in a row, I don't
yeah,
think at all it will get many games
yeah.
because we will
I
see.
think he will. Let's see. நம்ம அங்க வரச்சே
Yeah.
we will. Yeah.
Um, the third team is Pakistan.
Mm.
3 and 4 are Babar and
Mm-hmm.
the keeper,
Mm-hmm.
if
Rizwan.
it, Rizwan. In the top order, they have three left, two left-handers and one right-hander. Fakar Saman, if is fit and is mentally fit, can be player on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have Imam ul Haq and
அவன்
one
தான்
more.
ககாடி போட்டு விளையாடுவான்ல. Right,
And
right.
uh, and one more player, Abdullah Safik, I think. Okay. So interesting,
Yes,
but
correct.
I think the entire team revolves around Babar and Rizwan.
Rizwan, correct.
There is no on that day they can be anybody on
Correct.
that their day can be massive or they can win the games. That's the the game itself. So
Correct.
but collectively from 20 to 1 days, I don't think Pakistan has the top 4, which will trouble many teams.
Correct.
So if you take the openers and put pressure on Babar and Rizwan, then they are looking at a 230 or 250 kind of target, which in India I think it is easily
Correct. Correct.
chaseable because small grounds and whatever. But we have to see. That's the
yeah. I think for me, I think Imam ul Haq seems to be a little bit more solid from what I have seen. He plays. You know what you will get once you put him in the middle. He plays a little, more predictable from a stability standpoint. Fakar Zaman is a நம்ம சீக்கா ஸ்டைல் தான். அடிச்சா பாக்யம் இல்லாட்டி லேகியம் மாதிரி. I think this been a hit or miss in many cases. I don't know about the other guy. I think if they play him as a right-hander, we might have seen him. I think but they've had all these promising couple of right-handers in the past who just went off, right? So if he plays well, then they got the left-right combination. But I agree with you. No matter who they put in the top 2, it finally comes down to, I think, Babar and Rizwan. And once you have Babar and Rizwan maybe coming in at 10 for 2, then the bowling team, anyway, all they have to do is just get one. Once they get Babar or Rizwan, then they know that the rest of them, can they stabilize and play over a longer innings? I don't know. They're pretty good playing the 2020 game, but I'm not sure if they can really play the 50 overs, score the 320, 330, which I think is needed to push any team in India from here on in Indian conditions, right? So
and the grounds are so small. Wakate or Eden Gardens or Bangalore are so small that I think 280, 300 is a minimum.
Correct.
Okay, so
correct.
Then finally, our India.
Yup.
We have spoken about it for long, but because it is the episode of the top orders, we will speak again of about the Rohit, Virat, and 4 down I think it will be Rahul or
Mhm.
Ishan, based on the uh, team or the run
Mhm.
we have to chase or whatever. But mostly it will be Rahul on form is my call.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like I said, I think it's a really menacing top four. I think when you compare all of them, obviously Pakistan will definitely be number four in my list.
Yeah,
Um, I think even with Australia and so on, with Mitchell Marsh being shaky, our four are solid four in the sense that injury, etc. They are proved over a long period of time, and Rohit is back to form, and I like the fact that he's playing very free. Right, he doesn't just because he's the captain. He's not no pressure seems to be getting to him. He's setting the tempo right in the beginning, and he's playing like the Rohit that we know, which is good for us. Shubnam Gill has been just solid. அமிர்த்சரி குல்ச்சா சும்மா அடிச்சா லஸ்ஸியோட பையன்
எனக்கு ஒண்ணு வணங்கலங்க எனக்கு ஒண்ணு வணங்கலங்க
செமையா ஆடுறான். So that's
yeah,
good. Uh, Virat is Virat, right? I think he's been like a benchmark player for us for several years now.
yeah,
And I think his ability of fitness and just setting up that role model within the team and doing things, it's good for him to just come back into form in the right time.
yeah,
And then, yeah, good to see Rahul. I was not expecting Rahul to make it. Almost thinking
yeah,
from
yeah,
he's been
yeah.
given a lot of chances till now, but he has proved it, right?
Mm,
And the thing is, all of them have been captains either in some form or shape. Rahul can think he's been a captain at some point. So depending on conditions, he can make the call, guide the people through. So I think we have a really, really good, solid top four.
mm. Maybe it will be Rohit's last one day World Cup. If the one day World Cup stays after
Yeah.
this World Cup, um, because of age. If it says, I mean, Kohli is a beast, so I think he will pay the next
Yeah.
World Cup also if the World Cup happens. But what will be interesting is, um, can the middle order catch up to Virat's running and
Mm-hmm.
fitness in the heat,
Mm-hmm.
and that will be interesting. Where
Mm-hmm.
he takes chances now early, but
Mm-hmm.
mostly percentage cricket, where he looks for those ones and twos.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to score many in those fashion, then maybe a Ishan or a Rahul should be super fit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and see, other thing I always want to look for is what happens when the team is 10 for 2, right? 4 overs, 10 for 2, or like 6 overs, 15 for 2, right? Which means now your top 6 overs are done. Are you going to continue attacking like the Arvind D. Silva of what we
Mm,
spoke about in
mm,
96, or are you going to stabilize? I think India has got enough experience as well as form to sort of meander through the
yeah.
situation. Pakistan will have trouble. Australia might be okay if it is going to be because between Smith and Warner, they got really three people who can sort of navigate that
They
situation. Correct.
know the responsibility of what they have to do. If it's 10 for 2 or 15 for 3,
Yep.
Smith will put a stool for the next 30 overs, and then
Correct.
ones or twos. That is what he will be looking at, and
Yeah.
they will not go aggressive at all.
Yep.
Whereas that's the situation we have to see with England,
Yeah.
whether they continue their aggressive brand of cricket, even if they are 15 for 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bairstow is that kind of a player, right? He'll continue doing that. And
Yeah.
Stokes is also a natural stroke player.
Then you have maybe you have Harry Brooks, you have Jost Butler,
Yeah.
Livingston. Moin. So if they want to do that aggressive brand of cricket, they can do. But I
Correct.
don't think India or Australia will do that. We
Correct.
will pay a percentage cricket for maybe
Correct. I mean,
50 or
technically, India can play that given that you have Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya, and Jadeja. But this is where, but we got the steady heads. So I think they will not. And they're doing that. And by not doing it, they're doing the right thing because
Yep.
they know that when they sort of start firing from the 30th over, they know that they can make
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I think that makes the top four pretty interesting from these four teams. So.
Okay. So tell us, what do you think about the top four? Who's got the better top four in the four teams we discussed? And please subscribe, share, and like us. Like the channel, and next episode we will talk about the four other things which we picked in the top six to qualify or be a challenger for the World Cup. See you.
See you. Bye.